Hey guys, this is James Morgan. The YouTube channel is Captain J Morgan. Give this another try. I apologize. I was in the middle of a video just a few minutes ago, and my my computer went down. So here we go again. And I had actually had about a dozen people or more on there. So hopefully you guys are going to be able to pick this up again. Uh, I am going through the process of learning all the streaming, and also I just switched over computer systems. So again, I apologize. We were in the middle of a live chat and it just went down. So hopefully I'll get some of you guys back, and if not, maybe you'll catch this on a replay. But if you are on there, thank you. Appreciate it. We were just talking about the week and how, at least in my opinion, I thought I know the price of the stock, was a little volatile, and that we didn't make much headway in the price of the AMC stock. But I think in many other ways we did make quite a bit of headway. So hopefully we can use that as a good catalyst moving forward for this next week. I know that I think some of the good things that I saw coming out of this week were Gary Gensler did. He was on a number of he was on a couple of he had some tweets. The SEC sent out different tweets throughout the week, talking about being able to, if there's volatility in the market, what can happen. At first, I wasn't sure how to take that, and I thought, are they sending a message to because they're going to intentionally halt it to do something nefarious, to the retail stock trader? But then by the end of the week, and when I looked into it more, I think they're actually going to actually try to address a lot of this non-transparency, a lot of the hedge fund shenanigans, and just a lot of the stuff that the retail stock trader has known now for the last year or so, and that we have helped bring to light to the public. And I think he was putting that out there, so when they do halt, if they do halt, or if they do have to do something, that for us not maybe to be so alarmed, and also to maybe people who don't follow this real close, and who either own the stock or are in other stocks, and they start seeing the volatility in the market and the halts, that they that they were sort of give them a little warning, and that this does happen. So maybe there won't be so much worry in the markets when all these hedge funds start having to liquidate, and or these stocks that are so shorted start running. Hopefully that'll be mainly AMC and GameStop. But getting back to Gary, he he came out with the took a few notes here. He came out with the saying that or they voted on that transparency rule or proposal that's supposed to. They have, I think they're going to implement that within 30 to 60 days, to where the hedge funds are going to have to be a lot more transparent as far as, their reporting and how many days they have to report. And excuse me. So that was good. Then they also, on Friday, after the market closed, they even came out with more news. Supposedly, well, it's not supposedly. I looked at it also. There was it was in the last administration. I think when Janet Yellen was part of the last administration. Yeah, I'm not into politics, or I try not to be. I'm just reporting what I hear. Back in around 2016 or so, they were putting together a hedge fund review board, basically, for want of a better word. and it was for financial stability threats, and it was actually called the Hedge Fund Review Board, and it was going to be like a watchdog for the hedge funds, and uh, and again, not political, but the next administration that came in, uh, and the next person that was the Treasury Secretary, which I think that was Mnuchin. Um, he didn't focus on that as hard. And not saying anything was wrong with the Mnuchin at all. He did, from what I saw, he did a number of good things, but this wasn't one of his main focuses. Well, when Yellen got back in as Treasury Secretary last year, she did. I saw a clip where she did mention this, uh, and so then when Gensler came out, or the SEC came out yesterday and said that they were going get this ramped up again. Man, to me, that was a signal that he's focusing in on, and again, just to me, that he's focusing in on trying to, you know, start addressing this hedge fund abuse of the markets, and these, from payment for order flow to mainly these synthetic shares that are created. In my last video, uh, that just automatically just suddenly stopped. And I apologize for those of you who are watching it. Hopefully, I got you back, or you're watching it now, maybe on the later on, not live. But I was trying to explain, and I was having a hard time at it too. So maybe it's good that the computer just did sort of stop. I was really wanting to, and I have an understanding of it, but it's hard for me to explain it or to get it across, but because it's so convoluted and it's just so crazy how these basically call it like a pyramid scheme or a Ponzi scheme. uh, uh, Regarding the naked shorting and the synthetic shares, how they're created, it's incredible. So I'll try again, and hopefully I won't be too convoluted. And if you guys don't understand, or it's not that you won't understand, it's probably I'll be all over the place, but I'm sure you get it anyway. But sometimes it's good to discuss it, and that's what we're here for, is just sort of have a discussion. Evidently, when the synthetic share is created, how it's created is you have of course, the retail stock investor, excuse me, or it can be institutions or uh, or pension funds, whoever. They're wanting to buy shares of a company that there's there's really no shares of that company to be found by the market maker that they go to. So for whatever reason, in AMC's case, it's because there's hardly any shares out there that the retail stock investor ourselves are willing to give up, which is good. And so what happens is the market maker will, and this is where it's unbelievable how it's so convoluted, and that it can even, man, if you put this in a movie, it would be hard to believe or follow. And if one of us was trying to do this, we'd be the FBI and all the powers that be. They'd be on us so quick for a Ponzi scheme. It'd be unbelievable. But unbelievably, this is how it is. If I can get it across here, is the retail or somebody wants a stock. It's either retail, it's institutions, it's a lot of times they'll want it because and they know it's synthetic, but then they'll want to go ahead. But this will be for land. They'll want to go ahead and lend it back to make interest off of it. It's unbelievable. But the retail stock or somebody will want a share of stock that is not available from the broker. So the broker will then go ahead and sell them one, or they'll go to the market maker to get the stock. The market maker has gotten that stock from what they've done is they went to the DTCC, because they're saying that they have the stock, but they don't, and so that becomes a failure to deliver. Hopefully you follow that, because that's hard for me to follow. But and so and so that failure to deliver, when the broker and the market maker do not have that stock, and they have to then go to the DTCC because it becomes an FTD, which is a failure to deliver. The DTCC will then go into what's called their stock vault, uh, and they will go ahead and uh, provide them a a share, but it's not really a share, but they'll allow them to. It's basically a synthetic share. It's all BS. But then where does our money go that we bought that share from? Well, it goes to the market maker, and the market maker then uh, gives it to the DTCC to to allow them. I guess it's just to allow them to say that they have a share, and then the DTCC goes ahead and invests that money, and that investment then goes back to the uh, to the uh, to the broker, um, and uh, the broker makes broker or market maker in this example it go to the market maker. So the market maker is making money um, from the investment that the DTCC has put the money that the person who bought the stock uh, gave. And then the DTCC, you think, well, why is the DTCC doing this? Because they're not really they're a private organization, actually, and they want to make money too. They're supposed to be a watchdog, but they're still private, and so they make money. And how they make money is they get a transaction fee for that. And so it's just, yeah. And I'm not a perfect person by any means. Made mistakes all the time, and but I always try to stay in the black and on the right side of rules and regulations. So it's because that's the way I was raised. I was raised good, I think. Uh, but also it's because I just don't want to. My mind's not made for. I don't want to deal with all this shenanigans and having to look over my shoulder all the time. And this to me is unbelievable. I'm not bad with money or with accounting, but this just makes it's just so crooked. It's just crazy. So I apologize. It takes me when I even learn about it, I'm thinking, oh, wow, this is just, and it's so prevalent. It's just so right in our face that I can't believe that. And hopefully something is about to be done. But like we've talked on other videos, oh, I'm getting some chat here. I'll get to it here in just a sec. But how we've talked on other chats that we've had is I even think the powers that be. I don't even think a lot of the politicians. Some of them do know, of course, or they don't care to know because they're getting campaign contributions and stuff like that. But I even think the people in the SEC, um, they are probably thinking, "Wow, this has gotten way out of hand." And I do think that now they're going to try to address it, but since it's so bad and uh, I think it's woven into the fabric now of the way all the trades and everything's done in this country as far as the stock market is involved, that they have to be careful on how they handle it and how they move forward. And I hopefully this is what the Gary Gensler and the SEC and the powers that be are going to start doing now. And hopefully in turn what that'll mean is that that helps us out a lot. That's why before, when we would talk about the price of the stock in other chats, it's not that by all by all measures and rights, when this thing squeezes, it should go to you know the moon. Uh, but because of the underlying facts that this is so interwoven and intertwined and all convoluted in the whole stock market, that um, that's why I was saying that I'll probably get out of some of my stock, uh, in tranches, and or I will in tranches, but some of it will be lower than I think other people were thinking. It'll definitely be over, the 70 $70 mark. But because I just don't know if or when they're going to halt this, or what's going to happen. But here we go. I'm getting some comments now. You think the squeeze will happen by the end of the month? Uh, well, I don't know, and I think anybody who gives you a set time, um, I don't think they're being. Uh, there might not be anything nefarious about that, but it's just their opinion, and some people might have uh, more knowledge of what's going on and can give you that opinion. I can't, because I don't. I'm just like you guys. That's why I think maybe this is a good little forum here. If you do tune in, stay tuned. Uh, Now, everything that I've seen and that I'm reading and that I watch, it sure looks like a lot of catalysts are coming together, and like for a perfect storm for this thing to really to moass and to shoot up. But it's just I've learned nothing. You never know what's going to happen, or nothing goes according to plan. So I'd hope for the best and get ready for it. And like we were talking before, get your brackets or your thoughts together, or what you're going to do when this does happen. Because I think we could just there's a good chance we could just wake up one day and this thing is running, and that's when when all the planning and all the thinking and discussion will sort of hopefully help you out. Let's see what else. But I think it's I mean, just last thing here on that answer was it does look good for probably to me sometime February or March. But again, just never know. We could wake up tomorrow and be good. Or I'm sorry, Monday. Usually they transfer their FTDs to another hedge fund and cycle to where they avoid margin calls. Okay, thanks for that. I know there's a lot of shenanigans, and and I'm sure you guys are understood or everything I was trying to say. But yeah, it's incredible, probably what goes on behind the scenes. That was just one of the viewers here was saying that how uh, they'll even move their failures to deliver around, so it still looks good on their books, and so they're not getting the margin calls. It's criminal. Yeah, it is. It's just, man, it's just disappointing. Uh, and uh, yeah, it's just disappointing, because you would think that, and I really think that a lot of people, and that's why I think kudos to people who are in the stock and who have stayed in it. And if you had to get out, that's fine. But I mean, I think the people that are on this chat and the ones that will watch this and that do have AMC or are thinking about getting an AMC, uh, I think for whatever reason we have identified this and see this, and want change in the markets, but we also see an opportunity. Um, and I think that's my hats off to all of us, because I know it's not easy getting in a stock play like this. For one, there's so much of worry and doubt, uh, and it's I don't think it's because we're worried about what we have found out, and that we sort of understand what's going on. It's more that since it are so many shenanigans and stuff going on, that this might not play out like it should, or and because there's so many just nefarious and just crooked institutions and people, and it's just crazy. But we're playing the game and we're playing it right, and so hopefully we should get rewarded for it. So good for us. At least we're trying. Let me see. It will squeeze to the point where it will be history books. Don't start selling until at least 300. Yeah, I agree. And I think I'm going to hold out as to a decent amount too. I think though you should get your brackets set in as far as, when I mean brackets, on when you're going to how many times you might sell as it's going up, and a lot of that will depend again on what you need in life. How much you have into it, how much you paid for the stock. So 300 for one person, selling at 300 might be 500 for another, or 800 for somebody else. But I do think selling it in different on different levels and having an idea, and then getting somewhere where you can concentrate on it and watch it, and that's important too, because it's going to be a nerve-wracking, exciting time when this happens. And like I've said before, I think it's just as hard to push the button to sell it as it is to buy. Someone says on my shares, are you still buying in at this price? I bought probably about 3,000 shares over the last 4 or 5 months, when the price was anywhere from, I think I bought from 40 all the way down to 21 as it was going up and down. And I had decided if it got under about if it got in the, under 10, I would get out of some other investments that I have, or even get into my to some of my savings. But it didn't, and so I haven't bought anymore. But man, I'm right there. I want to, especially after all this news and stuff. So that it's not out of the question, but I have not bought. I have the 25,829 shares, and I accumulated the majority of that last January, February, March. So I've still got. I was checking on what my price is per share still, because I wasn't sure on those first few videos. I said I thought it was a 10 or under, right under 10. It's a little over. It's 9 something now, because at the time I was at one time I was like $6.80. I had averaged down to that, but I bought it a little bit as it go up, so it's still under 10. So and that's another thing too, that people who have bought. I mean, I told you I bought some. I told you guys I bought some at my my wife had said, why don't we sell it around 70? And I again should listen to her. But you never know. Hindsight's 2020. And now I would definitely bought back in as it came down. But instead, I bought the highest I bought was at 68. I bought some at 68, and I know there's other people that bought high too. So I bought very low. I bought it a lot of it in the 6s and 7s, and I bought a little bit at 68 too. So I know what price you buy into will probably determine where some get out for that first bit, because you always want to try to secure what money you do have in there first. But I know, but this is a different place, so I understand. And it could be we could wake up one morning, this be $400, and man, I'll probably be like this, shaking when I'm trying to push that button. They say one, yeah. Olin Smith says she has $130,000 invested. I know it, and when it starts going down, you think, "Wow, I've got the money invested in there." But good for you. I mean, you stuck to the play, and you have conviction on it. Where can sell or buy? Won't there be halts? Uh, if it starts going up like GameStop did, and this is just my opinion, I'm learning this like you guys. There are YouTubers and even my stock guy said there probably will be some halts depending on it's not really how high it goes, it's how fast how high it goes, if that's making sense. If it increases too fast, there will be halts from what I understand. I think they're mandatory. And where I think the halts will be different this time, or what will be different this time, is all the people involved, even the ones that are hopefully FOMOing, they will understand that um, that they're like the Johnny come latelys, which is fine. That'll help this thing go up, and we'll a lot of the retail stock traders might even start putting some more, buying some more as it goes up. I don't think there will be as much fear when it halts, because people should understand, and even the SEC is putting that out that they might have to halt it. Now, what the fear is possibly is that the halts could last for days and days. I don't think that will happen. I think it will just last for a matter of minutes or hours, unless it just goes ballistic. And then if it's ballistic, uh, you know, that might be a good thing too, because they still have to deal with the thing. They're not gonna. Well, I shouldn't say it's just my opinion again, but I don't see this being delisted at all. There's too many eyes on it, and the companies doing well, and the shenanigans are on the hedge fund side, which I think the SEC totally understands that. And if anything, they have some culpability here because they were in charge of watching all this, and they let it get out of hand, and they're trying to get it back. So um, I just think if it starts running, we're sitting in a good spot. The only drawback when if this starts running is us getting mesmerized on the run, or getting just um, and uh, uh, I'm just as much could be just like this as what I'm trying to say is I'm not saying that I'm any better or might not do this also. So you get excited. I got excited the last time, and uh, especially if you don't have a plan. Even if you have a plan might go out the window, and you're just you're so excited and you get mesmerized, or you get so into it that you were going to sell it your first tranche at 200. Well, and forget that. This thing's going up. I'm going to sell it 1,000 my first tranche, and and you you get so excited that you don't get out of the stock possibly, and then it starts coming down, and then you're so excited that you'll get out at any price. You're just so that's why I think it's good to have a plan, because you never know, this thing could come down as fast as it went up. Although I think we're going to have it, you know I think we're going to all be set, and at least that I hope so. Shoot, we'll have a we'll have a discussion after it goes up. Everyone will be talking about how much money they made, and I'll be sitting here. I didn't get out of the stock. I don't think I'll make that mistake though again. I don't think it was a mistake last time. I just didn't have a plan last time. The mistake would have been if I had a plan and I got way away from my plan. So a lot of times in life, and this is what you can't blame yourself, or you shouldn't so much, for something you could not foresee or had no knowledge of, or didn't know about. But we know what we think's coming now, so that's why we should get set for it. And nobody's perfect, so even if you are set for it and you mess up on your plan, just get things back, you know, uh, together. Nothing you can do about the what just happened in the past, and uh, and you know, try again. Here we go. Yes, there will be halts. Usually, they allow to sell because they're banking on you being psychologically shaken. This is true. But I think this time what we're just talking about is I don't think we'll be as shaken or as worried as we were last time when they halted this. Well, they took the buy button away too, which was that was horrible. Does my wife have her own alert set up so she can make sure she hit the buy? Well, when you see the no, she does not. But I'm going to mention that to her. But it's like we've been together for known her for 30 years, and uh, if she does something and it affects us, fine with it, and vice versa. But uh, but yeah, I would like her to be a part of it, and she can. We have another. This is my little office here. I build homes. I think people know if they follow. And so I bought this home back that I'm in right now. This is a house, and and I made it into an office, and now we live here. Also, we live on the top floor, and her desk is right over there. And so that day, I've already told her, hey, when this runs, man, I want you here too. And I want us to make the decision together. And we're already starting on a plan. Actually, I'm glad. Thank you guys for this. Helps me too, because I started talk about my plan, but I didn't really start implementing one or until here just recently. And so, you know what? She's going to be sitting in right over there, and she can push her button because when I show, I think I've showed the two accounts before. One was hers, and then one was mine. Um, and so yeah, she can. That's a good idea. But if I did it, or even if she did it, if something happened to me and I said, "Go, you make the decision and go hit it," I would. Whatever she pushes is fine with me. But hopefully, we'll have our plan together. I heard the Hawks will separate real and fake shares. I hope so. No matter what, I guess you guys can see each other's comments and you're discussing it back and forth as well. So thanks. But yeah, no matter what, your shares are real. This is true. They have to, um, whether we did get issued uh, shares when there was no more out there and they were, just synthetic shares. Excuse me. They're basically synthetic shares for the ones who issued them, the market maker, the broker. Um, but they have to settle up with us. So for all intent and purposes, she's right or he's right on there that they are real shares for us. They have to because we gave money for them, so um, they have to honor those. So yeah, I agree with that. Well, I think that do you guys have any? Again, I hate putting prices on it, but do you have? I think, and tell me what you guys think. That I'm dividing mine up into 5 different tranches or brackets, and if all of a sudden it blows through one uh, bracket, I'll probably go ahead and at least for the first time on the first one that I get out of the first tranche that I get out of, if it like say I had it at 200 and I all of a sudden it's up at 250 or whatever, I'll go ahead and probably get out at the 250. But then my next bracket, wherever that's it, I'll be watching that. And if it shoots past that, then I might combine them. Say the second bracket or second tranche, it goes way past and it's up by the third. I might, on that day that happens, I don't want to get greedy, but I want to see, just if it's skyrocketing up, I'm going to get out of some, but then it might be might rethink. Also, if it's if it comes towards the end of the day, um, and the play's still going on strong, or even if it's slowly going up, man, you never know what happens overnight. I remember when I when my friend called me about AMC, it was I know I think it was $5 to $7, but GameStop had already been running, and they said AMC was next, and I waited. I thought, well, and I decided that evening I could have still got in it at a lot lower price than I did the next day. I waited, and by the time that next morning, man, it was like 19, $20, and so I FOMO'd. I got into it. I'm glad I did now in hindsight. Um, but just waiting that little bit. That's why I think, especially that first tranche or that first amount, I'm just not going to be real greedy. I'm going to have it at a price level where I can make some of my money, if not all of it, back, and then and that maybe that last tranche. That's where I'm going to be maybe greedy, or where it's going to be up there, pretty high. I don't think any of us are greedy. I mean, look at all these hedge funds that are making it, and all these people that it's just incredible how much money they make, and we've worked and suffered and played their game and made the right calls, and so we should make money too, our money. Says, I'm glad you are talking about prices and brackets. We're all in this together, and it helps. Well, it helps. It's all, yes, I think it helps, but that's why I even hated saying, I know some people that have more than what I have, and everyone's going to have more or less. So, um, so uh, don't worry about how much you have. It's at least you're in the play, and you have some, and good for you. And I know at least I have, and I'm. I don't talk about what I have and stuff a lot when I'm out, especially a lot of my homes that I build are some of them are higher end, and well, this last couple of years have all sort of been higher end homes, and uh, you just never know when I meaning that when you talk about meme stocks, I think that's more of a people will say that, or at least in the markets or out there, and they mean it sort of not in a good connotation or a good way. Uh, and they think that all this Reddit crowd and YouTubers and I'm real, I think, open, and I try not to make judgments. But even I thought a few, year and a half ago, a year ago, that I didn't know what YouTube how you know how strong it was, and what a big influencer it can be, and how many uh, good channels and good content there is on there. I hadn't a clue, and I think a lot of people who don't understand this play, or don't don't understand technology, or don't understand uh, a lot of the younger people coming up. And young, when I mean young, it could be you could be in your 40s. It's young to me. Uh, that That's why I don't think a lot of the politicians, or a lot of the people on necessarily on Wall Street, or the old guard, so to speak, understand the movement. It's incredible. I've learned more uh, watching different channels, just being on these chats, um, than I, you know, uh, knew in 30 years. I used to have a gosh when I first had I had a broker, and that's how you used to have to trade. You get a broker, and then you'd call up that broker, and that broker would make the trades for you, and then you get an actual stock certificate. That's how old I am, and and we a lot of you online probably know more than my broker did at the time. It's unbelievable. So what I'm saying is, I think uh, to be involved in AMC or one of these what they call quote meme stocks, good for you guys, and good for you guys being involved in the retail stock market. I wasn't until the last year and a half, and I'm freaking 60. I'm pushing 60 years old, and I just didn't get involved in it because I had my savings, had my self-directed 401k, but it was managed, and then my wife had worked for a big oil company for years, so we have that. But uh, I think good for all of us. And the younger you guys are that are out there, or doesn't really matter about the age, but now that you're involved in the stock market, now let's. I think it's a good way, even though it's crooked as hell. I think, uh, but maybe they're going to help clean it up. But then the people that are bad are just going to find another ways to try to get over. But at least you can. It's regulated to a degree, and we can buy and sell. We can make the trades quick, and at least we're learning the game here. So I think it's something I'm going to stay in for the rest of my investing life. And just my opinion. I think we all should, and, among other things. I think properties are very good too. That's what I know, and that's how I've made money so far throughout my life, mainly. Mhm. Yeah, Whimsy Chick. Visit her channel. She said, "I'm not a YouTuber, but threw it up on my so-called channel if anyone wants it." I'm currently holding 3,000 shares myself. Do you think it's likely to see squeeze play out by the end of this month? Um, Previously, we talked about this, and I don't think anyone knows, but I think uh, the different catalysts that are needed, and for this thing to happen, it seems like more and more of them are forming, and it seems like uh, the next couple of months could be a good. It seems more likely than not, at least more likely than it could have been over the last 4 or 5 months, that it has a good shot of happening in the next few months. But I don't think anyone uh, can tell you an exact time. Just be prepared, and that's why maybe this forum here, like I said, I was going to try to have it every day, or as often as I could. Um, I couldn't do it last yesterday, or maybe even Thursday or Friday, but I'm going to try to have another chat tomorrow. But just whether it's mine or somebody else's, just because it's good when you have like-minded people and it's the same cause. Uh, it gives you more peace of mind, helps you learn about what's going on, and also just gives you it's just it's a better feel, especially when you can read, like I keep saying, when you can read online or in the news how it's crazy if you hold this stock or it's going to zero, or even have people out in the public. That's what I was trying to get to a while ago, and I think I diverted that. I don't mention this much when I'm out. I don't talk about hardly any of my investments or anything when I'm out, and or to people except in my family or my wife. But they might look at you different, or might say, "Wait a minute, I thought you were halfway smart." Uh, Whimsy really thinks it'll squeeze this month. Do you have indication on where you'll go after AMC stock? What? No, I do not. Well, let me take that back. I When I first got in, I was looking at tech, and I made the question was, do you know where you go after AMC stock? I'm definitely going to stay in the market. I think it's going to be. There's a good chance that this market will be real favorable to make money like it was over the last couple of years. I think when we get past this inflation stuff, the little bear market session we're having here, I think there's a good chance that we'll have another bull market for a while. I think it's going to be in tech and anything to do with artificial intelligence, uh, thing to do with like genome or medical. Um, and I follow this lady named Kathy Woods. She's not doing real good in her portfolio this year, but I think she will, and she has in the last 5 or 6. I follow a guy, Meet Kevin. He's on YouTube, um, and then just read a lot of uh, uh, newspapers online, uh, and just sort of follow the trends in the market. But I think there'll be a lot of opportunity in stocks and in I still think in real estate. Now I'm biased with real estate because that's what I do. Uh, but I think that's where I'm going to be, and I hope to share what I know or learn. I started the channel to do real estate, and I've never done a real estate video really, but that's what's strange. But I will. I'll show you guys. I'm going to make a. I'll go around to some of the houses or the projects that I have going on. One time, I think I have to be monetized before I can do it on my phone. I don't know. I'm learning all about it, and shame on me. I haven't taken the time to learn about all the how to do this YouTube channel. So apologize. Let's see. Whimsy said, "I will own Airbnb rentals after the squeeze." That's good, man. It's actually, man, it's a good hedge. If anything, just property is good to. I've always liked owning property, um, but the stock market, wow, you make good money in the stock market too. Uh, Aya just says, don't know if you guys are on Twitter, but there are some really good space calls about AMC, especially a group ran by a guy named Spencer. Okay. Kevin entered the playback on February of 2021, $14 a share. I'm just drained after holding a year. Well, uh, maybe something good that you can take. Always, even in a bad situation or when something's bad, I have my time where I'm dwelling on the bad, and I try to get over it or think of what's positive. What's positive about this, about you holding stock since February, is that you're coming up on the on the year on a year that you've held the stock, so you'll have capital gains instead of like ordinary income when you get out of it. So that's look at it that way, and that's an extra, depending on the tax bracket you fall in and everything, but that could be an extra 20% of whatever gains you have put in your pocket. So maybe that's try to look at it that way. Whimsy said, I got in February at 568. Wow, you did good, Whimsy. I never got that low. I think I bought some in the fives. I'll look back, but mine, I loaded up some in the sixes and sevens. But good for you, Whimsy. Uh, Aya just I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. By the way, you talk about real estate. I don't want to get off topic, but it'll be good to see what your thoughts are on the hot market. It's been still going gangbusters. When will it drop? Well, for I do some development. I own properties, but for and I build mainly new homes. I do some major remodels, but mainly new and custom. We started getting into custom last 4 or 5 years because it was just so there's good money in the customs, but we had always done specs, meaning we just build them for and then put them for sale for about 20 years before that. And when the rates go up, we're going to take a little bit of there's going to be a slowdown. Hopefully the valuations, what's bad is when you have a slowdown in the housing market and then the valuations go down. I don't necessarily think the valuations of properties and stuff will take that much of a hit, if it takes any. But the way the homes sell will, just because of the rate increase. And what's strange is I remember the first house I was actually buying before I built, and I was just trying to get in single digit interest rates. That's how old I am. I was just trying to get under 10, and the rates are incredibly good and low right now. And so I think it's sort of an overreaction, the markets to the interest rates. But I know there's a lot of other catalysts and stuff, and hopefully the housing market won't overreact. But it always seems like everything overreacts now. But that's why I think there's so much money to be made in the stock market still, because I think there'll be a lot of volatility over this next few years, and a lot of good stuff too, and a lot of new technology and all the new stuff that Kathy Woods she opines on a lot. But I think housing won't be as strong as it was last year by any means. Man, I couldn't keep a house fast. I couldn't build fast enough. We're small. We don't do, but if we do 8 a year, that's a lot. But they're big, nice homes, and we couldn't keep them. In fact, I had rented what inventory we did have in 2020. I rented those out, and man, I couldn't wait. I was willing to find the people that were in the house somewhere else to live, or buy them out of their contract, because I knew that it wouldn't be as hot, in the fall. I didn't know the market was gonna be this bad, or the economy now. But I had a couple of houses left at the end of the year last year, and I just sold my last one. It closed in just a few weeks ago in January, so I don't have anything outstanding to sell right now, and I'm just looking at different things and just working on the projects that I have. We have some commercial stuff going on, and some customs coming up. But I still think the market's going to be okay. It's just got and interest rates are still going to be good, even a point up from where they're at now. The people who just bought my house got, I think, a 2.6% interest rate, that's incredible. That's I think I almost got spoiled on the low housing interest rates. But it's all perception, so. I fully believe in AMC and the squeeze. Yep. Whimsy did interior design before she stayed home. You might want to. We deal with a lot of interior, at least on the higher end homes. We deal with interior designers and quite a bit. So that could still be. You probably still make some good money at that. In fact, I wanted to make some videos because it's a family business, and you see, you watch these shows on TV, and you think, oh man, that's That's exactly what we do, or we could do that, or but my wife and my brother-in-law, they don't want to be on camera. And it is sort of it's a little bit weird being on camera, but hopefully I'm going to have some tutorial videos on different things that you should look for if you're buying a house, selling a house, remodeling a house, or building a home. And and I think those will could help people. Well, we've been on now for almost an hour. Again, I'm sorry if you guys tuned in to. That's why this video is entitled number two, I think. Or we're gonna give it a try again, number two, discussion and chatting, because I screwed up on that first one. My computer went down. Um, just to recap, this week coming up, a lot of good things to look for. Gary Gensler with the FCC said that he's going to give another talk specifically to the retail stock investor, which is us. I think he said he's going to, he's already, they already voted and the transparency rules are supposed to go into effect. I've heard anywhere from 30 days to 60. And then I was watching somebody too, and they thought it actually was going to be a few years from now, but I think it's going to be between 30 and 60 days. And then, and I haven't seen anything. I heard in general what the rules are going to cover, but I haven't seen, exactly what that is. So if anyone knows and they want to forward it my way, I appreciate it. Or if they want to share it with the community, maybe next time we get on, if you guys all want to come back. I'll try to have another talk tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, by Monday evening. And then they also reported yesterday late in the evening that the SEC did that they had this like hedge fund review board that they were putting in place back about 2016 and it sort of got put on hold. That now it's like a watchdog for the hedge funds that they're going to start implementing that or putting that in place. And I think putting people together in a little, a panel together, so that will be good. I heard it referred to as a risk assessment panel, and they'll probably give recommendations to the SEC. And but I think they intentionally put that out there yesterday to let the hedge funds know and all the people doing all these shenanigans and the market makers and stuff that, hey, we're serious about you guys need to get your house in order. So, and again, I think they're trying to. That's why I do think that a squeeze or run up will happen, because I think the SEC is alerting the powers that be that are behind all this stuff with the citadels and people like that and the market makers that it's time to start cleaning this stuff up, and hopefully they're taking heed of that, and we'll start seeing that reflected in the markets, and especially the price of our stock of AMC and GME if you have it. And also they mentioned that they're going to take a real good look at settlement times, which that's a big key too, and that this payment for order flow. But I think that could be, this year, but later on. Also now Gensler's in for, even if the Congress turns Republican, the majority at the end of the year. I don't know. And again, I'm not political. I don't, or try not to be. I don't know if that will affect what the SEC is trying to do that much, because they do have terms. There's 5 of them that get to vote on anything. Right now, 3 of them are Democrat and 2 are Republican. Gensler's a Republican. And and there is one that comes up in June of this year. He is a Republican. However, you can never have more than three of one party on there, so they'll have to replace him with a Republican. And so uh, I don't know. It's looking like the SEC is going to try to get serious on at least looking at this. I mean, we've come a long way in the last year. Now, he just got in as chairman, and I think his term lasts 6 years. Uh, Last year, maybe it's 5 years, yeah, it's 5 years, and and he just got in last year. And uh, there's a chairman. I believe a chairman gets replaced every year because they have them staggered. So so I think he's going to have the ability, at least for this next few months and year, to implement these changes and try to get. For one, I know some of us got into this because we wanted to. I think the majority of us got into it because we saw that there was an opportunity there, and we thought we could benefit from it. And just a byproduct of that was to teach these, you know, to teach the hedge funds maybe a lesson, and the powers that be, and show them that the retail stock trader isn't the dumb money that they thought. So hopefully that'll start all paying off. Let me read a few more of these comments, and then I'm gonna probably go for today. It says, yeah, yeah, that the and it is weird. I mean, there are coincidences, but wow, what a coincidence that the building that was storing documents. And again, I talked about my wife, but she's had some good jobs, and she when she worked at a company that she dealt with a lot of important or proprietary or private documents that they would have to store on offsite and at different facilities. And when I was telling her about and then showing her some of the coverage on the that facility burning, she was just questioning it too. They usually have backup for the backup, and so and even if those were files that got, they should have backups for them somewhere else even. But it was what a coincidence that that the files burned, and then nobody got hurt for one, which is good. Uh, and that the whole building went up, which usually you can contain a fire. Although I know there was a lot of paper and everything, but they have redundancy in backups usually. I'm doing that's a good coincidence, and then or a good story right here is or a coincidence is right now I'm doing a commercial job, and it's these warehouses that store food. And it's a massive warehouse. It's not as big as the one that burned up, but they're big. And some of our biggest, I wouldn't say problems, but issues and things that are taking so much time is the fire. In fact, I didn't think about this when I started this video here, but we're on hold right now. We're about to get our permits from the fire marshal, and we had to have numerous, or we're having to have numerous different permits for the job. One specifically for the office on the sprinkler system, one for the warehouse because you have this what's called high pile storage, and the higher you store stuff and what it is that you store, how combustible or flammable it is, you have to have different type of sprinkler heads. You have to have different distances from the ceiling. You have to and this is these are not proprietary documents and stuff. This is just in this instance, it's a they're storing food, but like you have flammable oils and cooking oils and stuff like that. So they even have to be in a certain area. Then there's freezers, and the freezers have their own fire protection. You would think, well, a freezer, does it need? Yeah, you even put sprinklers inside the freezer. So it's amazing, or it's at least it's suspect to me that that whole facility went up like it did, and that's just not a common storage place. It's housing all these supposedly proprietary documents. And have you heard of something like that, happening before or in this day and age, and especially at this time, and being so close to Chicago and Citadel, and again, just my opinion. And the SEC had just recently done a probe and looking into hedge funds and market makers and broker dealers, and so yeah, I know I might have taken too much time on that, but yeah, Whimsy says Pantheon in YouTube has a great series on Gary Gensler when he taught at MIT. Very interesting. So if anyone wants to watch that. Yeah, and it was I've never, and again, I'm not an expert at it, but I've done commercial jobs, and we've always had to deal with fire stuff and fire marshals, and how I was trying to figure out how sprinkler was knocked out from a rack, because it's just that could not be done in the buildings that I'm doing, and the storage facilities that I'm involved with, and the warehouses. I could not see how a wire rack could knock out the whole sprinkler system. But again, not saying it can't be done or that's not the way it was, but I just can't. Haven't seen it. Do you think blue chip stocks suck as Apple, Microsoft, and will dip once AMC rises, since these funds were up? If AMC and all this and all the stocks that are shorted and all these hedge funds get called on margin, and the market, it sort of sucks money out of blue chip stuff and other stocks as this is happening. And again, not with AMC, but for the market in whole, but AMC also. Probably almost, I mean, yeah, AMC and GME for sure. It could be a good time to look at. It's always, I think, a good time to. I think there's sort of a reset right now in the whole stock market, and so where the bottom is, I don't know, but I think well, you saw what happened with Facebook, and I think when a blue chip stock goes down that much, it might be a good time to at least look at. Excuse me, especially if we get win this molasses and we get our money. Look at that's why I was saying earlier that I think with the volatility and everything, this could be a really good time after these AMC molasses to look at getting back in the market. Just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, and what do I know? But I'm just learning like you guys. But I think that's where we can make money again. And I think it'll be a good time. And if you don't feel that way, or you're not sure, then wait. If the market is real volatile at that time, or it's just still, you don't think it's bottomed, you don't always have to get in at the bottom. If you got in at the bottom plus 20%, it's still it's still probably it's still a good play. At least that's the way I look at it. And that's where, back when I first started, remember it was right after, I think the markets tanked in like April of 2020, March, April, and I started getting in May. And by August, I had a lot of plays going, and I was just moving moving money around, and that's where I made a lot of the money that I put into AMC. My dad is an architect. There is no way the fire was arson. My dad is an architect. There's no way that fire was arson. Okay. I don't know. And like I said, I I don't want to make accusations I don't know of or anything. But as far as the way it was not being able to be contained, we're talking about the fire now. There was a comment that she didn't think it was arson. We're talking about the way the fire was not couldn't get contained. I just find that, or how the sprinkler system failed. Maybe that's even more so than contained. With all the paper and stuff there, I could see it could get out of hand probably pretty quick. But I deal with sprinkler systems. I'm not an expert at it, but I've dealt with a lot of them on commercial jobs. And for a whole sprinkler system to, because there's redundancy in sprinkler systems, and and usually depending on what store, this was very combustible because it had all that paper that usually it's hard for one act, meaning like one set of shelving, metal shelving, toppling over to mess up the whole or disengage the whole system. That's all I was saying. But I have no idea. We'll wait and see. It could have just been a coincidence. And I think we're also high strung right now that anything that happens uh, is it's Ken Griffin's fault in Citadel. I stubbed my toe. God dang it! It's Citadel has something to do with it. Yeah. Kevin says, I'd love to reinvest in some other stocks. I wouldn't have to look at AMC every morning. I understand that. I look ahead of myself every morning. Oh, Whimsy said she meant it was arson. I thought you meant it was not arson. Yeah, again, it's it seems something was nefarious to me also. Um, and it could have started out as an accident, but then there's some what do you call malfeasance or something on that sprinkler system, because it's hard for an entire sprinkler system, and that was a massive facility from what I understand to go out for so that's all I mean. Yeah, I'm not an expert, but this is something that I'm dealing with to a degree right now on a commercial job, and it's held us up now for about 2 months, just because we have to have everything in place correctly for the office, the warehouse, the freezer facility. So, all right, guys. Well, man, thank you for tuning in. I'm hoping that this channel will be a place that at least all of us that own AMC can come until the MOAS. Also, a place we can discuss stuff, anything to do with the markets, primarily AMC, but anything else, and we can have support. I was asked on one of my last videos, am I going to come on when the MOAS happens? I'm going to try. Yes. I'm just like everyone else. I could be away from. I'm gonna try to do what I say and take my own advice. But if I'm out in the field, I have to go to San Antonio on one big project we have, and I'm in Houston. Um, if I get caught out and I can't, um, I will as soon as I can, or I'll get on that evening. But I'm just like you guys. I might get excited and forget, or just fumble around, or again, I've said it before. It's as hard to hit that button to sell as it is for me sometimes, as it is, or it has been, just here what I've just been in this year and a half or so, as it is to buy. So and to hit the button to sell when you're up. So I had that issue on Tesla when it was running up too, and uh, but I did have a little plan and I stuck to it. But I didn't want to sell when I got out some in the eights when it had hit nine, and I thought if it lowers back down, but don't want to get off on that. But yes, I'll try to be around for that. I think it's good to have a community, or to have something you can uh, you can. Last time it was going up, I forgot what channel, but I turned that channel on real quick too, because I wanted to hear and listen and see what was going on. So, but whatever the case, whether you tune in to me, to somebody else, just get your plan together, and then try to stick to it. And if you don't worry about it. Get back on it, or have another plan, or start another plan. Just uh, you know, that is it then. My name is, well, let me see this one more. Thanks for your guys' time too. Please, again, I'm new at how to do the YouTube stuff, and I'm going to try to take some time and learn better. Also, the broker that boy, he's a stockbroker. He was going to teach me about trailing stops. He called yesterday and he could not make it today. That's why one reason I was putting out this video too, is I thought I would have it because we were going to meet this morning. Uh, but hopefully I'll get him to, or I might even call TD Ameritrade, and they give lessons on this sink or swim. I'll try to learn more about that, because I had talked to that when this thing MOAS too, if it was a slower, if it wasn't just shooting straight up. I had been told that maybe doing some trailing stops, and maybe even if it shoots up, doing some trailing stops might be a good way to secure, your bracket and your level without having to take it out right then. We'll go over that and explain it later, and you guys might already know what I'm talking about, and through your comments, you'll probably explain it better than me. But maybe we can. I think that's something that would be good to discuss next time. But I want to be more educated on it. But until next time, be looking for. I put the alert up, or I'll try to do that again, where it shows where I'm going to have my next, when I know I'm going to have my next video. And I don't know if you guys, if you can get notified from it too. I'll learn all that. But you can shoot me an email in the meantime if you want. It's if you have any questions, or you want to ask me when I'll be on next, something like that. And I try to look at them every day, a couple of times. And it's Captain J Morgan 2021 at gmail.com. Captain J Morgan 2021 at gmail.com. See, TD America spent 45 minutes. Yeah, I hope that I can spend some time on it too. And next time, please come back on the chat, and you can answer some questions when we do. Maybe we'll go over what we've learned on the sink or swim, as far as being able to watch the technicals on it. Because if it goes up like it did the last time in June, I think it'll be good if we can watch the technical or the charts as it's moving up over, if it takes days or weeks, and then that way we'll know when it's probably leveling out, or when it might take when it might start going down. Okay, guys, thanks. Appreciate it. This is James Morgan. Again, thank you very much. AMC to the moon. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.